Here we are on the Ferrari Owners stand. I'm with a lovely gentleman called Ralph. And
hi there.
Nice to meet you, Ralph.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm very good.
Excellent.
Standing in front of one of Ralph's cars, which is this one. We'll talk about it in a second. Ralph, what involvement do you have with the Ferrari Owners Club? What brings you here today?
Well, actually, I met Pete, who kind of runs the whole thing, a while ago. We were just actually parked next to each other.
Okay.
And he's got a Ferrari, I've got a Ferrari. We started chatting, what can you say?
Yeah.
And then he said, why not come along to one of the meets, which I did. And you meet up with all these other guys and ladies who obviously have a love for Ferrari. And not only do you enjoy looking at the cars, but actually pick up lots of little tips and things that save you money, for example.
Yeah.
And I've saved a lot of money with silly things. In fact, the silliest one of all, I didn't know how to clean switches on Ferraris. Most people, what they do is they send them off and it costs thousands of pounds. Right. Actually, you get Dunlop guitar cleaner, which costs £2.99 off the internet, and it cleans them perfectly. Beautiful. £2.99. There you go.
There you go. How to save money with Ralph.
Save money, yeah. Dunlop guitar.
Ferrari have just put a big cross against you.
I know, they hate me.
Next time Ralph turns up, tell him he can't get his car this month.
There we go.
Ralph, tell me a little bit about this car that we've got here.
The funny thing is that my wife knows that I like fixing things.
Right.
Okay. So we were on holiday, we're lying in the sun lounger, and I'm looking at a magazine, and I can see a picture of a car, and it's a racing website.
Okay.
And in the background of one of the photographs, there's some boxes, and I see a little bit of red.
Yeah.
And I think that's a Ferrari.
Because you knew it was Ferrari red.
Yep. So I rang them up, and it's a company called Walker's Motorsport, and I said, "Hi, in the background of your picture, what is that?" And they said, "Oh, it's an old Ferrari that belonged to a guy called Richard Pryor." Now, I didn't know who Richard Pryor was, but apparently he is absolutely brilliant at hill climbing.
The god of hill climbing.
He is the god of hill climbing Ferraris. He's just like the most. He's as famous as David Beckham.
Yeah.
But of course, I know nothing about hill climbing, so unfortunately, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, who is this guy?
So I said, any chance I can have a look at it? And they said, sure. It hasn't moved for a couple of years.
Right.
So I went to the garage when we got home, went up, they pulled all the boxes off it, had a look at it.
And this thing appeared.
And this is underneath. It started first time.
No.
And I looked at it, it was really, really ropey. And I said to the guys, will it be really easy to restore this? And they said, yeah, a few quid, don't worry about it, it'll be perfect. And it's the old story. They put it on a trailer, brought it to London, they put it on the ramp, and the guys at the garage looked at it and went,
oh my God.
Oh my God. They said two things, Ralph. First thing is, this is Richard Pryor's car, because they knew him.
That's like,
and the second thing is, it's not going to cost a couple of thousand quid.
No.
They said, this is a very famous car. And I said, why? And they said, send Richard an email. So they gave me all these details.
Yeah.
He'll tell you all about it. So I sent him an email, and Richard Pryor sent me PDF files, photographs, everything, every single race, every single track.
Of this car?
Of this car, yeah. I've got, every single race, every single split time, practice times.
Wow.
All the other cars that were in the races, all the circuits it was at, and it went on and on and on and on and on. So he sent me this all by email, and I just couldn't believe somebody had all this information. It's bonkers.
Incredible.
So I was
even talking to Richard.
Yeah, this is the actual guy. So he said, Ralph, to be quite honest, it's probably not worth fixing because it's going to cost you too much money to do.
Oh.
But the thing was that there's two types of cars that kind of make me feel a bit queasy. One is the one that's done 1,000 miles and 30 years old.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
What is the point?
Yeah.
Right? And the other thing
it.
is the one that actually has been used for what it was designed.
To race.
Racing, right?
Yeah.
And then someone says, let's scrap it.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, when someone says Sterling Moss went round, Le Mans in a 250 GT, and that car's coming up for sale, no one says, oh, how many miles has it done? What they want to know is about its race wins. So when I said to Richard Pryor, tell me about it, he said, well, I've raced a lot of cars over 20 years or so.
Yeah.
He said, I had that one for 7 years. The lowest it ever came for the whole series, so I'm talking about the whole year, not just one race, the whole year, was third. For 3 years, it was second, and it won it 3 years, which I think makes it the most successful Ferrari, Pirelli hill climb car of all time.
That's pretty spectacular results.
Now it had a different registration on it
Oh,
when I bought it.
Hang on, so this is a road going car?
This car can be, when they converted it back to road going,
Right.
what I did is I said everything that comes off it that is race, I want you to put it in a huge case so that if somebody ever wants to take it back racing again,
Hill climbing again,
they can open the box,
Yeah.
take the airbags, they can sort those all out, they can put the steering wheel back on.
Yeah.
Actually, you can probably do it in about half an hour. This is Velcro, and in the box, it's got the Pirelli things, you put them straight back on,
Brilliant.
tow bars on, off you go. So this can be used on the road.
Love it.
So anyway,
You were saying about the registration.
the registration, yeah. So
Sorry.
the registration I bought, and what's quite funny is that when it was all done up, which took it about a year, I went to the Ferrari Owners Club meet.
Yeah.
I drove up the drive, and there was a guy there, old guy with a fluorescent jacket. And even though this car is now immaculate,
Yeah.
it didn't have any of its stickers on it and a different registration. He went, "That's Richard Pryor's car."
No.
I said, "No, it's my car." He said, "No, it's Richard Pryor's car, mate." And the next guy I met went, "Why have you got Richard Pryor's car?" So he's obviously very, very famous in hill climb, and the car is very famous
Yeah, the
as well.
car's well known for
So unfortunately, I'm not a racing driver. I love looking at them, and I've really enjoyed saving it. It's now immaculate.
Yeah, can see
Because
that.
the engines out, everything was done. The body was sent to Silverstone to be done.
Wow.
Brought it all back. Then they put new suspension in it. Then they took the engine, the brand new engine cradle. The list goes on and on. Inside leather was redone. Everything's done. So it's now immaculate.
I don't even want to ask.
No, you
Don't wanna know.
Don't say anything about price. But for me, it was about
Lot of
saving
insurance.
it. So you've got the cars that are absolutely immaculate.
Yeah.
This car has done miles, but it's got history, and that to
You've got
me
the
is
best of
much
both
more
worlds.
exciting. Another thing is that my son and I take it out and we drive it,
Yeah.
like lunatics.
How it's supposed to
How
be.
it's supposed to be done. But so absolutely beautiful.
Enough
so if
about that.
If you want a
You've
track
got something
car,
over here.
I've got something over here that's very, very different.
Yeah,
but
come on.
really, really interesting. And this one is actually a mystery. And actually, no, it really is a mystery. So back in, shall we go over here?
Yeah, we'll go this way.
Back in the late 90s, Ferrari obviously wanted to replace the Testarossa,
Right.
and they did it with the Ferrari 550 Marinello,
This is a car.
which is a nice car. However, there's a chap you might have heard of called Michael Shumacher,
I remember him.
and he said,
Yep.
"I want one as my daily car." Okay.
Right, okay.
So they
No.
said,
No.
so they said, "What would you like, Michael?" So Michael, and in fact Ferrari have written a book on this. There was actually a book. Michael said, "I want my car to have these features. I want it to have an internal roll cage." Now remember, this is 1998. Okay.
Right, yeah.
He said, "I want it to have carbon fibre seats like I've got in my Formula One car."
Oh, wow. Guys, come around here and
Got
come
it,
and have a
come
look
on.
inside
Okay.
here. You've got to see this.
So remember, this is 22 years ago. Okay.
22 years and got
Right.
carbon fibre
So carbon fibre seats like in my Formula One car, carbon fibre sails, even carbon fibre on the handbrake. I wanted to have carbon fibre gear knob, carbon fibre centre console, even round the dials I want carbon fibre. He said, so this one has got the Fiorano race package, it's got different suspension, it's got different brakes, it's got different exhaust system. I keep finding out new things that are different about this because Ferrari guys keep going, where did you get this? So the answer is nobody really knows though how many of these there are.
But you're not telling me this was Michael Schumacher's car?
What happened was this.
Sorry, I'm
So-
jumping ahead here. I'm so excited.
So nobody really knows.
Right.
But the thing is that I have only found 3 the same as this, okay? One was owned by Ferrari, and it was on the Ferrari stand for Paris. It was on the Ferrari stand, I think, for the UK. It was on the Ferrari stand for America and Frankfurt motor shows, okay?
Right. Yeah.
And it's the only one that's spec'd up with all this stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in silver, and Ferrari gave me that picture, and it's in the background, but Ferrari don't talk about Michael, okay?
Yeah.
So that's that. Next thing is, Ferrari Sweden had one, and it's red with cream, and this one is black. So it's 3 cars, all same
Silver,
spec,
Red.
but all different colours.
Yeah.
So when I rang Sweden, I said, listen, can I ask you a question? What's the chassis number? And they went 113161. And I said, that's really weird because mine is 113162.
Oh my
And they
God.
went, oh. So I said, I wonder
What
if
the other one
Michael
is.
went in and said, I want a car, but I don't want, a normal one.
Yeah.
Hence Ferrari making the book.
Yeah.
So Michael then turns up, they've made some. Now, considering there was about 6 colours,
Yeah.
we think probably what they may have done is made 6 for him, and he went along and said that one, and then the other 5 they sold off to big clients.
Gotcha.
Or
Or-
it's just that the first people that bought them spec'd them up the same as Michael's. They said, what did Michael have? They went like this, and he
want
said,
that.
I want this exactly the same. So they did this one. There's another 2 that I've heard of, and I have for years been asking, and in fact this month's Ferrari magazine, the Owners Club magazine, it's got a whole page article saying, please, if anybody knows anything about the car,
Anything about this car, yeah.
this car or any other Schumacher cars, can they give us a shout? So a couple of years later, they copied this car and they called it the WSR car, which we know about. They made 33, 10 came to Britain, 1 was written off, there's 9 left, but they were all silver and they were all right-hand drive, okay?
Yeah.
So Ferrari, the only information they would give me about this, apart from details about the carbon fibre, etc., is they said no Schumacher right-hand drive cars were ever made. That's an interesting thing to say to someone.
Left-hand drive car.
Why no right-hand ones? It doesn't make sense unless they were only made for somebody who wanted a left-hand drive.
Yeah.
So nobody really knows. I'd be desperate if somebody knows, contact the Ferrari Owners Club, because as they are desperate to find out. But as it stands, there are 3. There are normal cars where somebody say has got maybe a race seat, or somebody has maybe put a roll bar in it,
Yeah.
or somebody might have put a little bit of carbon fibre in it. But in terms of the full thing, this one's got everything.
It's amazing.
So it's not a Ferrari Schumacher edition, which was the 456.
Yeah.
This is actually called a Ferrari Schumacher Options 550.
Love
okay?
it. Options.
Options 550, and it's extremely rare. So I'm desperate to find out some more information. Sadly, though, the Ferrari magazine has been out not just in Britain, but it gets sent out worldwide. This is how rare it is. That has been out, a full page saying, please, can anybody tell us anything about this?
And nothing.
Responses, none.
If you're out there and you're watching this and you know anything about this car, then drop me a line on the comments below. That's easy to do. And then I'll pass this on to Ralph. Not a problem. Ralph, before we leave you, you were going to tell me something. What's your everyday car that you drive?
I
gotta be
don't
something
actually drive. I cycle a lady's 15-year-old bike with a basket on the front and kind of semi-flat tyres.
Yeah, okay, we believe you.
That's
what
true.
do you drive?
No, I've got an Audi.
You got an Audi?
a Q7. I got 2 horrible, noisy kids, and my wife shouts at me. So
and a lady's bike with a basket.
But actually, the ladies' bike with the basket is what I'm on every single day. Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely brilliant. Ralph, you're a
Okay.
proper character. Thank you.
Lovely to meet you. Hopefully that was
Lovely
interesting.
to meet you. It was very interesting. There you have it, guys. Ralph from the Ferrari Owners Club.